All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to this month's Health, Welfare, Recreation Committee. It is May 22nd, 2025, 6 p.m. And I'd like to call this meeting to order. Taking roll of everyone here but Roseanne Carden. She's on her way, so she'll be here shortly. So look over the agenda if you want to approve it, or you have anything you want to.
I'd like to move the rural water update up to A on new business.
Okay, everybody write that down. We're going to take rural water from 7C, move it up to A, and put animal control at C. So just switch that around. Okay, to have a motion to approve that new agenda.
Yep.
Is it? Oh, one other thing. Anything need to be added on to? We need any kind of thing we need to add on to this agenda that you see? If so, let me know. Dwight, you got anything?
I don't know of anything.
Okay. All right.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Morris,
Second.
second by Mr. Duncan. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Ayes have it. So, any public comments? Or do we want to hold those for rural water?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything besides the water system? Okay. If not, we'll hold that till for just a second. We'll get down here. All right. Look over your minutes on the back page. Look over the minutes from last month. See if everything's where it needs to be. If not, let me know. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion. That we
Motion.
approve the minutes,
Motion by Mr.
From-
Miller to approve the minutes.
I'll say.
April 22.
Second by Mr. Morris. All in favor of the approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Ayes have it. So, any unfinished business that we had from last month that we need to address now? I don't think so. So we'll move on down to our rural water update. Mr. Morris.
Well, we have several people in the audience today, and it's my understanding that Manchester has agreed that they will put the water in if we will buy the pipe, and I'm willing to buy the pipe out of rural infrastructure funds. They've agreed, or Ms. Pugh and them have agreed that they would accept a 4-inch line. I would like to see if Manchester City could also finish off that Roberts Ridge if we buy the pipe. I know that's added, but I'd like to talk about that too.
Yes, sir. So, are you talking about?
Down to the old boat ramp. I call it the old TVA boat ramp, not Cedar.
4-inch pipe, are you referring to J. Sartain?
Yes.
So,
Would that take different study or?
it would.
Okay.
So, just with what I have, the information that I have, if you're gonna do the entire road
Uh-huh.
and loop the system, it might be best to do a 6-inch line.
Okay.
Again, that's something, if you're wanting to go a different route, then I need it.
Okay. I want to get them water.
Yes, sir, as do I.
So,
But that'd be something I have to look into.
okay.
So accounting for future growth out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, know that the park's supposed to be built. It might be in the best interest if you're gonna do it, to 6-inch lines
Okay.
future instead of just having it 4.
Okay. All right. Then the water line coming from the 4-way stop at Roberts Ridge down to the bottom. Could that be a 4-inch line, or would that have to be a 6? Okay. All right. Well, since everybody's sort of come together now, I think we need to take advantage of this situation, and I'd make the motion that the county entertain, or I'd entertain a motion to buy enough pipe to either loop it or stop where you think they need to stop and get them water.
Do we, before we do that, do we need to get with him, get some measurements and know
Yeah.
how much we're gonna buy?
Yeah, he's gonna let us know, but I would like to move that forward.
So the best option is looping the system. later on, you're gonna have to, at some point, extend it if growth moves
Yes.
on. And then we're gonna be sitting in here going through all this again
Okay.
at some point. My suggestion would be just to get it, if the money's there, get it done all at one time. And that way it's over and done with.
Okay.
We gonna talk about how much money we're talking about before we actually vote, or what?
Well, right now, he's talking about $100,000 for the pipe and the,
Well, the
Yeah.
material, total material of the price with contingencies of bedding and backfill is about $150,000.
okay.
And that includes your valves, your pipe, and any material needed.
Okay.
So with that, that's on the, that's the top end, that's the high end, 150,000.
It's just the estimated.
I got you.
I still make that motion.
That motion's on, that motion's on the table.
Could you repeat that? 'Cause I'm
Okay.
not-
It would be
I'm
to
sorry.
pay for, yeah, they're gonna put the pipe in. We're gonna pay for the pipe.
Who's they?
Manchester City's gonna put the pipe in.
Water system.
And the water department is, and we're gonna pay for the pipe like we've done for people out in the rural for the past
Okay, right.
15, 20 years.
Okay.
And this thing, the thing about this is it's kind of been floating around for over
Yep.
a year.
Yeah, I
And now
know.
we
And finally got it
everybody
nailed
together,
down, so
Yeah,
we're in a
good.
good, we're both in good shape there, so.
So we got a motion by Mr. Morris
Second.
to proceed with the purchase of pipe for the city of Manchester to install up to $150,000.
And if we have to, we'll come back.
Got a motion on that. Do I have a second on that?
I got it.
Duncan?
Second on Jackie Duncan. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. So we'll need to,
I'll get with him
send that forward to
Yep.
Budget Finance.
and see what we have to have,
Okay,
and then we can run it through budget and finance.
gotcha.
And I'll get with Mary Ann tomorrow and make sure that the money's there.
Okay. Well, that's pretty simple. After a year,
After 2
one night,
years.
we cured it all.
I hate that I was late, because I would love to have
I
heard all
appreciate
that.
y'all very much, Manchester
looked at
City,
the
I appreciate
video.
y'all very much.
Good job, Mr. Morris, on
Well, and them too.
On your-
I appreciate Manchester City.
your,
So how do, I'm gonna write this down.
yeah, just wanna, we have a motion
As a question, how many people are we gonna be able to serve?
to approve
5 houses right now,
Just like it used to be?
purchase.
and if they come to, is the church gonna be built across the creek? Is that what they're talking about building there?
It was I think it was a church youth camp.
Okay. So there would be multiple buildings there. And then,
Water.
Norman Lynch's daughter owns the land on the other side of the creek, going towards Kathy Ridge.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That one day may be developed, one day,
yes.
not now, but it has the potential to be
I
developed.
think she's married to a water
Mhm.
system.
Yes. And I think they live down there now.
Everybody that's present up there.
So, one thing, Mr. Moore.
Yes, sir.
Again, the engineering report that I got was more or less just a broad overview.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know that that was passed. One of the things that needs to be looked at is, more or less for permitting, design, I mean, all that is gonna have to have engineering.
Okay.
They'll have to have actual engineering. So if you want to go through either St. John or Walford, I mean, or whoever y'all choose, I mean, or if y'all want me to make that decision and give you
Okay.
get a call.
I think Scott's done most of the water.
There might already be an
Yeah.
engineering report.
I think that there might be for that road.
And if there is, I'll find out. If
Okay.
y'all already paid for it, then
Okay.
that's even better.
Yeah.
I've got a question. In the past, I thought we were just doing pipe. That's what we used to build a supply basically and provide it. Now we're talking about, backfill and, engineering
I
and
think
things
so
like
we
that.
paid for the backfill and stuff, but the engineering, I don't, I think, I need to check and see if Scott has that done.
So the only thing that I'm aware of, which of course I won't
Is that a question that we would have to address the city mayor?
That's not what
with?
I've heard, but
Well, I mean, again.
I can go back through Mary Ann and find out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can leave the engineering off of that and do the pipe.
That's what we've got,
Yep.
that's what we got here, so we can go from there and find out more. What's a time frame on this?
So, I can give you that, it was an estimated time frame. Sorry, it's taking a minute to go through all this. I mean, he's got it down as if you're using a four-man crew 5 days a week, which, I mean, there's gonna be times where our guys
Yeah.
have to be pulled off because of other issues. It was accounted for a 36-week total time frame.
Okay, so it could take up to a year. Yeah.
sounds like it.
Why not, and your guys did, like, when they put water in down our road and stuff, when they had breaks and stuff, they had to leave.
Yes, sir.
Because you're doing it on your time, your people's time, I understand that, so.
And I mean, one of the best, again, it could be a discussion at a dead end and not looping it, but,
Uh-huh,
you know, that's up to y'all.
okay.
And, I mean, I say it's up to y'all, it's our water system, and I can just give you the best recommendation, I would loop it. And,
Then we won't have to sit here for J.E. Sarton again.
yes, sir,
And that's part of the county that's gonna grow exponentially.
and I'll see if I can get with Adam or Scott and
Okay.
if they have an engineering report.
Okay.
And compare that to what I have.
Cause I know that was all mapped out when I was on the commission the last time, when David Pennington was the mayor. That was all mapped through there. And they talked about different water lines and pressure points and stuff, so.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they wanna go over? You wanna come up? If you do.
Well, really, in reality, all of my information is not necessary.
Right.
If this has already been made. I was just going to point out the spring and
Judy.
300.
Judy, would you come and speak into the microphone?
It's not even turned on, there you go.
If you don't care.
Well, I was just going to point out that these are some photos of the actual spring that we're talking about. This is a well that was dug 300+ feet that ended in a dry hole. And I was going to hand all this out just to prove to you how dire our situation is.
I think everybody believes all that.
Okay?
Good
We've
to-
been
it's
for
good
you
to
the
see
whole
it.
time.
Thank you.
My only question is, in the future, are we gonna keep doing this without making some changes? Because in my mind, the county is not responsible for running water lines for, every place we wanna send everybody to have water. Because as we talked about recently about the 5-acre thing, if my mind says if you want to set a subdivision out here 10 miles from a water system, I'm not in favor of sending the county money to develop that. So I think one of the utilities typically in the past would have put bonds out or done something to extend their lines, because they're gonna get revenue from now on for all these lines. I worked at the utility for 24 years, so they never got money from a county or anybody else to develop their water system. So I've been against that all along, and I will be in the future And I would have been against this if it hadn't been y'all's plight that we'd worked on for a year, so.
Actually, we've worked on this for 5 years.
Well,
but
I was only in it
In it.
last year or
right,
so.
right. So. And really, that is, and I wanted to thank Mr. Jeff Perry.
Yes.
He just kind of came in and got thrown to the wolves. I didn't even have a chance to introduce him. Of course, he knew, I think everybody knows he's our water and sewer director. And Mr. Joey Hobbs, I was going to introduce him, but I don't see
We've met
him. Okay. And really, that is all that I want to say, except I do thank you for taking all of this into consideration, because we need water badly.
Well, we had a really dry year, so
Yes.
everybody suffered.
Yes, yes.
All right, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Anybody got anything else? If not, we'll move on to our rural fire update. We don't have anybody here, but I can kind of give you a brief summary of that. One of the main things going on now, Hillsborough will be taking over, they'll be doing the Bonnaroo fire protection again this year. I think they got a contract signed with Bonnaroo. I think the city's just gonna be like on standby for them. I think they're doing all the property that's in the city, and then the Bushy Branch Road splits it. The other side of Bushy Branch Road's all county stuff, so they're covering the cities and the counties part of it, so.
Hillsborough is.
Hillsborough, yeah, they do a
And they
really,
did get their check for last year.
they did, they do a really good job. I think that was a
Yeah, they
lot,
do.
I think that was a lot of the factoring thing, is they just had a lot of experience doing it. I think Bonnaroo liked the service they was getting, and that keeps $20-something thousand going to one of our rural departments
Yep.
that they wouldn't have got, so. I think it just goes to show you, if you do a good job, you can get repeat customers, so. I think our smoke detector program's starting to wind up. We're starting to wind down towards July 1st. I think everybody's made their quota
Yep.
at 12. I think we talked last week. I think we had a motion, was it last month? We got a motion out of here to approve for recommendation for the extension of the smoke detector program.
I thought we did.
Yeah, I think we did. Was that in the minutes?
It is. Well, it's mentioned.
Yeah, it was, but I think we did. I think we sent that over,
To the mayor's office.
yeah, to the mayor's
Okay.
office. So I think that'll be coming
I
up
need
in
to
our,
look at that.
in our
Budget
June,
and finance.
in our June meeting.
Okay.
So that should be on.
For budget and finance?
Yeah, I think y'all were gonna look at, y'all were looking at
Okay,
the,
it hadn't been
Hadn't
brought up
been
yet.
that.
Of course, now, we were canceled Tuesday night because of weather. And it's rescheduled for the 29th.
if you could, Tim, could you
I'll
put that
try,
on your
yes.
list to bring up and to be in consideration? Then I think it still has to be voted for,
Yes.
for the entire commission, so.
The note I have is that Tim is on budget and finance, and he will find out how to handle it. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that, of course, that money's,
Winds
was
up
all,
being I think it's $250,000 a year.
yeah, it was 250,000. Just make note of that so you don't forget it,
Okay.
and we'll see how it goes out in the June meeting. I think it'd be voted on it'd be after July on next year's, right?
It would have to go into this year's budget if it's gonna go active. So we'd have to have it in there by the June meeting in the budget.
Either that or an amendment to the
Yeah.
budget
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
Okay. If you would, next month, just give us see how that's going, so.
Where am I?
And I think in some more rural fire news, I think, Summitville had Manchester covering for them from, on the weekdays, Monday through Fridays, from 7 till 5. I think that's been changed back. I think they've taken it back over now. I think they were low in enrollment. I think they've got some new members, so I think now they've taken that back over, so I think all of our department's in pretty good shape.
Good.
Equipment-wise, I think they're way ahead of lots of other rural counties. They've got a lot of stuff now. Other than that, I think that's all I got, so. Let's go down to animal control. I don't think Craig's here tonight to give us a report, so anybody have anything on
They're
animal
working
control?
on the side out there
All right.
for
I
the
think-
shelter.
Yeah, I think we've run into a little bit of problem, cause I'm on, capital outlay, and I found out through that, that was gravelled out there and it had a pad under it. But I think after they got out there and ran some core testing on it, that they don't think that's gonna be sufficient. It's not gonna hold the structure, so they're gonna have to dig that out, dig under the clay, get that out, pack it full of shot rock, and so it's just basically be another expense that we wouldn't,
A pretty good size one, I'd say.
Yeah, do we know how much?
we don't. I think I'm gonna go out with Terry tomorrow or Monday one and kinda look and see when they're out there, so I'm sure it'd be expensive. But I mean, we don't wanna build it on unstable ground and
No.
concrete
No,
bust, you know?
No,
No, but are we at maximum budget amount as it is? You
I'd
know,
say so.
Mr. Morris, we there?
Yep.
So,
Oh,
I mean,
Sure.
it could be from 50 to 100,000, we don't know, but we'll know.
It's gotta be done to hold the building up.
Yeah, we just don't want any
So we'll
mess
take
ups.
bids on that, or will they just,
I'd say they'd have to take bids on it.
I would
think
Yeah,
so,
to dig
yeah.
that out. That'd have to go through capital outlay.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be part of the
Yeah.
original contract.
But surely, the company that's already out there working would get the bid if they were low enough to do it.
If they're reasonable,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
another company's they're not gonna come in and just do that and then turn it back over to another company. So hopefully it'll go through the bid process. So, anybody have anything else on animal control?
no?
If not, we'll move forward. Any rec news?
No?
Nothing? Okay.
When our grant writer is finding some grants that Manchester Water can qualify for our people, and he's trying to work with them. Are there any grants that he found that we could sort of slide their way to help us? Or we have to be in the rec business to get there?
I think we need to be in the rec business.
Okay. I watched the meeting the other night of Mr. Three talking about more Coffee County people are there, than city people use the rec department. And that may be true, but they're getting revenue off of that, so we need to be in the rec business to qualify for grants.
Yes, I'll
right.
revisit
You're
that,
good.
but yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much
Okay.
it. We need land. If we
Yeah.
had land, then that would be the beginning of something. We just don't have any.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that comes to number 8. We'll set a time for our next meeting, and everybody get your calendars out and look. I would like to go June 24th at 6 p.m., if that's okay with everyone.
That's a
Is that a
commission
commission?
meeting,
Yeah, that's a
24th.
county commission meeting, isn't it?
Let's do the 26th,
Okay.
sorry. 26th. And if you have anything come up that you, when I send out the agenda, if you have anything come up we need to add to it, just let me know,
Okay.
and I'll try to get it on the agenda, so. All right, with that being
Did
said,
y'all talk about the animal control, that they're getting started on it in a
Yeah.
big way?
You're welcome to add to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably know more about it than I do, for sure.
Of course, there was speculation regarding ground quality out there, so it's already in their contract what they're gonna do.
Oh,
Okay.
There was a, I don't know, it would be an addendum. Everybody knew the possibility of that, the whole place out there, even where the jail's built, is wetlands, right? Everybody knows that. So it was in the contract, so it's $110 a yard is their number if they have to remove soil and put back with shot rock. So that was already covered in the
Oh,
contract.
so it is no extra cost.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It might not have needed it, but everybody speculated that it was gonna have to happen, so every contractor had to give a per yard price for soil stabilization, remove and replace, so.
So we're talking about, we don't want cracked and busted
So there
concrete
was-
out there.
There was no estimate about how
Nobody
many
knew.
yards,
I reckon.
so you don't really know what the outcome financially is gonna be.
Right now, it could be 2 foot deep, they're gonna test it with a 2 foot fill. And worst case scenario would be 4 foot. And I think the 4 foot cut and fill was gonna be 90-something thousand. 2 foot would be half that, so
So
we're just waiting.
it wouldn't affect any of the other contractors that bid if it comes up $90,000 and another contractor did it for 50,000 or anything like that. It wasn't that
It's
close.
we have one contractor doing the job. That's his part of the job is the stabilization. In other words, it don't go out to bid to do this. It's part of their
Well,
contract.
that's what we were just discussing, whether it was gonna be required
No,
Now,
or
now,
not.
it's all
now,
covered by the prime contractor that's on site.
now we know.
So we got by that endangered species situation.
There's no trees.
Huh?
There's no trees.
I don't know what.
Indiana bats. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
stopped the jail.
Yeah.
So there's
I don't think that's an issue on this.
no,
Barn
there's no
owls.
trees.
We got nothing but open sky above
That's
that.
right.
All right.
Okay, all
So
right.
the 26th of June,
26th of June at
Okay.
6 PM,
What day, what's day?
Thursday.
Thursday, the 26th.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Make a motion
That
to
we'll
adjourn by
adjourn.
Mr. Miller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Duncan. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. See you soon.
I wanted to ask a question.